The night was silent, only the wind whispering across the red desert of Nevada. Miles away from any city, Dr. Aaron Blake, a mechanical engineer working on human space tools, sat beside his old truck, eating cold pizza and staring at the stars. He loved silence. Out here, no one asked him about failed projects, no one laughed at his strange dreams. But tonight, something was different. He saw a flicker in the sky. Not a plane, not a satellite. A bright, quick flash that blinked 3 times and then disappeared. Aaron frowned. He took his binoculars, eyes narrowing. "That's not normal," he muttered. The light appeared again, closer this time, like it was falling. The ground trembled slightly. Aaron jumped to his feet. He saw smoke, blue, not black, rising near the rocky hills. His heart began to race. "A crash?" he whispered. "Maybe a meteor?" He grabbed his flashlight and ran toward the smoke. Each step kicked up sand. The wind grew hotter, carrying a metallic smell, like burnt wires and ozone. When he reached the spot, the air shimmered. In front of him was no rock. It was a pod. Small, round, covered in silver liquid metal that seemed to move on its own. The thing hissed softly like breathing. A faint blue glow pulsed from inside. Aaron's mind raced. This is technology," he said, his voice shaking. "Not from Earth." Then he heard it, a voice. Soft, almost musical, yet trembling. "Help, please!" Aaron froze. The pod opened like a flower. Inside, lying weakly on the metallic floor, was a tiny creature. No bigger than a child's toy, with skin glowing faint green and large reflective eyes. It blinked slowly, its chest rising unevenly. Aaron knelt down. Hey, it's okay. You're safe." The little being lifted its head weakly, eyes locking on him. Its voice was tiny but clear. You're so big," it whispered. "Bigger than my home." Aaron blinked, shocked that it could speak English. "You can talk?" he asked softly. The alien tilted its head, confused but smiling faintly. "Your sounds easy to learn," it said, words slow, broken. "You help?" Aaron nodded quickly. "Yes, I'll help." "You're hurt, right?" The creature looked at its small arm. A crack in its glowing skin leaked faint light. "Crash," it said weakly. "Ship. Broken air. Wrong." Aaron took off his jacket, gently wrapping the alien inside to keep it warm. He carried it to his truck carefully, afraid of hurting it. Inside, he turned on a small heater. The alien looked around, amazed. "You live in this machine?" it asked softly. Aaron chuckled nervously. No, this is a truck. It moves on wheels. My home's a bit bigger than this." The alien's eyes widened. "Bigger?" it whispered. Then suddenly it laughed in a soft bell-like sound. "You are bigger than my home. But your tool, tiny." Aaron blinked, confused. "My, what?" The alien pointed to his wrench lying on the seat. "That tool," it said proudly, trying to mimic human tone. "Small. My people use tools big as mountains." Aaron couldn't help but smile. "Well, I guess our tools are just human-sized." The alien tilted its head again. "Human?" it asked. "Yeah," Aaron said, sitting down beside it. "That's what I am. A human from Earth, and you." The creature's glow dimmed a bit. "I am Kale," it said softly. "From planet Lyrian?" "Far from here. Very far." Aaron leaned forward, curiosity taking over fear. "Why did you come here, Kyle?" Kale's eyes flickered. "Run. From war," it said simply. "My people hunted. I was small. Too small to fight. I escaped." Aaron felt a lump in his throat. "You crashed here?" Kale nodded weakly. "Yes, ship broken. Energy core dying. If not fixed, I die too." Aaron's mind began working fast. "I can fix machines," he said. "I build tools, robots, engines. Maybe I can help." Kyle looked at him with faint hope. "Human help, alien?" it asked. Aaron smiled. "Yeah, why not? We help those in trouble. That's what humans do." The alien stared at him for a long moment. Then a tear of glowing light rolled down its cheek. "You bigger than my home," Kale whispered again, voice full of wonder. "But heart, warmer." Aaron didn't understand why, but those words hit deep inside him. He gently patted the alien's small shoulder. "Don't worry, Kale, we'll fix your ship. We'll get you home." Kyle smiled faintly, but its glow dimmed again. "Need energy core," it murmured. "If no core, I fade soon." Aaron's heart pounded. "Then we'll find one. Whatever it takes." Outside, the desert wind howled again. But this time Aaron didn't feel alone. He didn't know that the small alien he had just saved would soon drag him into something much bigger than he could ever imagine. Something that would shake the entire galaxy. As Kale drifted into sleep, its body glowing faintly like a dying star, Aaron whispered, "Hang in there, little one. We humans, don't give up." And far above them in the dark sky, something else was watching. Morning sunlight touched the desert, turning the sand into a sea of gold. Aaron hadn't slept. All night he watched the little alien Kale sleeping inside his truck wrapped in his jacket. Its body glowed weakly, flickering like a dying candle. Aaron's mind was still spinning. An alien real right in front of him. He whispered to himself, "This isn't a dream, right?" Kale stirred, opening its big eyes slowly. "Human, Aaron?" it said, voice soft but stronger than last night. Aaron smiled. "Hey, you're awake. How are you feeling?" Kale blinked, struggling to sit up. "Still cold. Air hurts, inside, but alive." Aaron nodded. "Good, stay still. I'll check your pod again. Maybe I can fix something." He stepped outside, the desert wind hot and dry against his face. The silver pod still lay half buried in sand, smoke rising from the cracks. He knelt and ran his hand along the smooth surface. It was warm, almost alive. "Strange," he murmured. "Feels like skin, not metal." When he touched a broken edge, it pulsed faintly and a soft voice echoed in his head. Not from outside, but inside his mind. "Lyrian technology recognizes your intent. You wish to repair." Aaron jumped back. "What the?" The pod glowed brighter for a moment, then dimmed again. Aaron swallowed hard. "Okay. Telepathic tech. Great." He grabbed his tools from the truck, his wrench, a scanner, and a small power unit. As he worked, Kale climbed out slowly, watching him with those curious eyes. "You fix?" Kale asked. "I'll try," Aaron said. "But I need to know then what powers this thing. What kind of energy core does it use?" Kale's expression changed. It looked almost afraid. "The core," it whispered. "It breathes." Aaron frowned. "What do you mean it breathes?" Kale floated closer, its tiny hand touching the pod. "It's alive, like me. My people use living energy. It grows, it feels, it chooses who may touch it." Aaron stared. "You're saying your ship runs on something alive?" Kale nodded slowly. "Yes, we call it a core seed. It connects to our hearts. If it breaks, both die." Aaron's mind buzzed with disbelief. "That's impossible." "Machines can't feel." Kyle tilted its head. "On Lyrian, everything feels. Even metal has memory. We grow ships like you grow trees." Aaron rubbed his forehead. Okay. So if your core's broken, can it be healed?" Kale hesitated. "Maybe, but it needs energy from another heart." Aaron blinked. "Another heart?" Kale looked at him, eyes glowing faintly. "A strong one. Full of will." Aaron laughed nervously. "You mean me?" Kale didn't answer. Instead, it raised its small hand. "Touch the pod again." Aaron hesitated, then placed his hand on the silver surface. This time he felt warmth spreading up his arm. Not burning, but deep like a pulse. His heartbeat synced with the pod's rhythm. He gasped. Kyle whispered, "It listens to you." The silver surface shimmered and opened slightly, revealing a chamber inside. The core nest. A cracked sphere pulsed faintly in the middle, bleeding light like a wound. Aaron stared in awe. "That's your core seed?" Kale nodded. "It is dying, but it feels your will. Maybe it can drink from your strength." Aaron swallowed hard. "How?" Kale floated closer. "Place your hand here," it said, touching the glowing sphere. Aaron hesitated. "If this goes wrong, what happens?" Kale's voice was soft. "Then both our hearts stop." Aaron's breath caught. He looked at Kyle, small, fragile, trembling. Something inside him refused to walk away. "All right," he whispered. "Let's try." He placed his hand on the sphere. Instantly, light exploded, bright white and warm. Aaron screamed as energy rushed through him. Images flooded his mind. A planet covered in crystal forests, cities floating in the air, creatures made of light. He saw Kale's world, beautiful and dying under fire. He felt Kale's fear, its pain, its loneliness. He felt everything. Then silence. When the light faded, Aaron fell to his knees, gasping. The sphere glowed brightly again, whole, alive. Kyle hovered above it, eyes wide with tears of glowing blue. "You did it," Kyle whispered. "You gave it life again." Aaron looked at his hand and faint blue lines glowed under his skin. What did it do to me?" Kyle floated close, touching his hand gently. It marked you. Now part of you is Lyrian. Aaron laughed weakly. Great, half human, half alien battery. Kale smiled faintly. No, half hero. Aaron looked up, startled. Hero? Kale nodded. You helped without knowing why. On my world, that's the greatest strength, to act before fear. Aaron stared at the glowing core. So your ship can fly again? Kale's smile faded. Not yet. The core breathes again, but the wings, gone. And something else watches. Aaron frowned. Watches? What do you mean? Kale pointed toward the sky. They followed me. The hunters. A chill ran through Aaron's spine. He looked up and saw 3 red dots moving across the clouds, glowing faintly. Those aren't stars, he whispered. Kale's glow turned blue with fear. They found us. Aaron's jaw tightened. He grabbed his tools and shouted, "Get inside the truck." Kale hovered beside him, trembling. They will not stop, Aaron. They hunt all who help Lyrian. Aaron jumped into the driver's seat. Then they picked the wrong human. As the truck roared to life, the red lights in the sky began to descend, cutting through the clouds like blades of fire, and the desert night, once quiet, now echoed with the sound of something coming for them. The truck bounced wildly over the desert road, its headlights cutting through clouds of dust. Aaron's heart pounded as he glanced at the sky. The 3 red lights were growing larger, sharper, chasing them like angry stars. Kale sat on the dashboard, glowing faintly blue with fear. They're here, it whispered. The hunters of Vraxis, they kill everything that helps Lyrian. Aaron gripped the wheel tightly. Not tonight, they won't. The truck's old engine roared, pushing to its limits. But how could an old human truck outrun alien ships? The red lights descended lower, now clearly visible as sleek black crafts with curved wings and crimson markings that pulsed like veins. Kale looked at him with panic. They're scanners. They found my energy mark. Your touch woke the core too bright. Aaron cursed under his breath. So helping you painted a target on both of us? Kale's eyes dimmed sadly. Yes. I'm sorry. Don't be, Aaron said, jaw tightening. We'll deal with them. A loud boom echoed through the desert as one of the hunter ships fired a plasma bolt. It hit the sand beside the truck, exploding in a cloud of fire. Aaron swerved hard, the tires skidding. Kale screamed, "They're warning us." Next hit, we die, Aaron growled. Then we fight back. He slammed the brakes, spinning the truck sideways behind a tall rock ridge. The dust cloud hid them for a moment. He jumped out, grabbing his toolbox and an old military-grade power coil he had used for experiments. Kale floated beside him. You can't fight Vraxis hunters. They have plasma weapons. You have tiny tools. Aaron gave a crooked smile. Then let's make my tiny tools count. He set the coil on the sand, connecting it to the truck's battery. Sparks flew. We'll overload the coil, make it explode. When they come close, it'll fry their sensors. Kale blinked. That's dangerous. You'll die too, Aaron smirked. Not if I'm fast. The alien stared at him, then whispered, Humans. Mad but brave, Aaron grinned. You bet. The roar of engines grew louder. The 3 ships descended, hovering low, scanning the area with red beams that cut across the sand. Aaron hid behind the ridge, holding the power coil's trigger wire in his hand. Kale floated beside him, glowing faintly. I can help, it said. I can bend the light around us, hide us for a moment, Aaron whispered. Do it. Kyle's body pulsed and suddenly the air shimmered. Aaron looked down. His hand had turned invisible. Whoa, he whispered. The first hunter ship landed near the wrecked pod, scanning it. A cold, robotic voice echoed. Target energy signature detected. Secondary life form present, terminate. Aaron's heart raced. He whispered, now or never. He pressed the wire. A burst of white energy exploded from the coil, blinding bright. The nearest ship jerked violently, its red glow flickering. Sparks showered from its wings. The other 2 ships turned instantly, firing in Aaron's direction. Kale screamed, Run! Aaron grabbed Kale and sprinted toward the truck as plasma bolts tore into the sand behind him. The blast heat burned his back, but he kept running. He jumped into the driver's seat, slammed the accelerator, and the truck roared forward again. Behind them, 1 hunter ship spiraled out of control, crashing into the dunes. But 2 remained. Kale pressed against the window, whispering in fear. They'll not stop, Aaron. They can track the Lyrian mark and the one inside you. Aaron glanced at his glowing hand. Then I'll give them something to track. He turned the truck sharply toward the canyon, a narrow path between tall red cliffs. We'll lose them there. Kyle shook its tiny head. No signal in there. It will block their sensors, but what? Kale hesitated. Something else lives there, Aaron snorted. I'll take my chances. The truck entered the canyon, bouncing off sharp rocks. Shadow swallowed them. The sound of the hunter ships faded. For a moment there was silence. Aaron sighed in relief. We made it. Kale didn't look relaxed. Its glow dimmed. No, they will come back. But something is here too, Aaron frowned. What do you mean, something? Before Kale could answer, the truck's lights flickered and then went dark. The engine stopped. Aaron hit the dashboard. Come on, not now. Kale's voice trembled. It's the energy here. It's alive. A low hum filled the canyon. The walls seemed to vibrate. Then in the darkness, the sand began to glow faintly. Blue lines spreading across the ground like veins. Aaron stepped out slowly. The air was electric. What is this? Kyle floated above the sand, eyes wide in wonder. Lyrian ruins, it whispered. This place. It's old. Very old. Aaron looked around. The canyon walls were covered in faint carvings that looked like circuits pulsing gently. You're saying your people were here? Before, Kale nodded slowly. Long before humans. My ancestors. They built gates across worlds. Aaron's eyes widened. Gates like portals? Kale nodded again. Yes, but all were destroyed. Only ruins remain. This place, not dead yet. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the ground. The blue lines glowed brighter, forming symbols under Aaron's feet. Kale gasped. It recognized you. Aaron looked down. The symbols shaped into something like a handprint, glowing the same faint blue as his own marked skin. Kale's voice trembled. It sees the mark from the core seed. It thinks, you're one of us. Aaron stared in awe. Me, a human? Before Kale could respond, a beam of red light pierced the sky again. The hunters had found the canyon. Kale turned sharply. They come! Aaron clenched his fists. Then maybe this place can help us fight back. The ground shook again, and ancient machines hidden in the cliffs began to rise, tall, metallic guardians covered in sand and vines, their eyes flickering awake after centuries. Kale whispered, By the stars. The guardians still live. Aaron looked up at the towering machines, their gaze turning toward the red lights above. He smiled slowly. Then let's give our hunters a welcome they'll never forget. As the sky lit up with the arrival of the enemy ships, the forgotten machines of Lyrian awakened, and for the first time, the desert began to roar like a sleeping god remembering its name. The desert was no longer quiet. The canyon shook like a living creature as ancient machines rose from beneath the sand. Their tall bodies gleamed under the moonlight, their eyes glowing soft blue, the same color that pulsed beneath Aaron's skin. Kale hovered close to him, whispering in awe. The guardians of Lyrian. I thought they were all destroyed. Aaron stared up, breath caught in his throat. There were 5 of them, enormous beings of metal and stone standing like forgotten gods. They moved slowly as if waking from a long dream. When one turned its head, the sound was like grinding thunder. Aaron's heart pounded. Kale, are they friendly? Kale hesitated. They protect whoever carries the mark of the core seed right now. That's you. Before Aaron could respond, the night sky flashed red. The Vraxis hunters swooped down again, their ships firing bursts of plasma that turned sand into glass. Kale shouted, They're firing again. Aaron ducked behind a rock, shielding Kale with his arm. The heat scorched his skin. But the guardians didn't flinch. Their eyes blazed bright and a deep humming filled the canyon. A wall of shimmering blue light erupted around them, a barrier made of pure energy. The plasma bolts hit it and vanished into ripples of light. Aaron stared in disbelief. They have shields. Kale nodded quickly. Energy shields empowered by the core mark. You woke them. Aaron's voice shook with excitement. Then maybe they can fight too. The largest guardian stepped forward, raising an arm that ended in a glowing crystal sphere. When it pointed at the sky, a beam of white light shot upward, striking one of the hunter ships dead center. The ship exploded in a burst of flame. Aaron's jaw dropped. Holy hell, Kale smiled weakly. The guardians still remember how to fight. The other 2 ships scattered, firing wildly. One plasma bolt slipped through the shield's edge, hitting the sand near Aaron. He was thrown backward, his arm bleeding from flying debris. Cale cried out, "Aaron!" He groaned but got up, wiping blood from his forehead. "I'm fine," he said. "Just a scratch." Cale floated closer, touching his wound. Its small hand glowed and the pain faded instantly. Aaron blinked. "You healed me," Cale smiled faintly. "Small gift. Lyrian power still works in me." But before they could rest, the Guardian's lights began to flicker. Their deep humming weakened. Aaron frowned. "What's happening?" Cale's expression turned grim. "The energy here is old. The Guardians can't stay awake for long. The battle drains them." Aaron looked up. The 2 remaining hunter ships circled above, preparing to fire again. "Then we finish this," Aaron said. He turned to Cale. "Can they hear me?" Cale nodded. "They respond to thought." Aaron took a deep breath. "If you can hear me," he thought, "help me protect him. He's just a child." The Guardian's eyes flared brighter as if answering his call. Then one knelt down, lowering its massive hand toward Aaron. Cale gasped. "It wants you to climb." Aaron hesitated. "What? No, I'm not." Cale pushed him gently. "Go. It trusts you." Heart pounding, Aaron climbed onto the Guardian's huge metallic palm. The surface was warm and vibrating, alive with energy. The hand lifted him high into the air, until he could see the red sky and the incoming hunter ships clearly. Cale floated beside him, shouting, "They're coming!" The ships dove straight toward them, plasma guns glowing. Aaron stared at the enemy and whispered, "All right then. Let's show them what humans can do." He focused, remembering the feeling when he touched the core seed, the strange heartbeat, the light inside him. He closed his eyes and willed that power to rise again. The lines on his arm glowed fiercely. Energy crackled around him, flowing into the Guardian. Cale watched in amazement. "Aaron, you're sinking with it." The Guardian roared, a deep metallic sound that shook the air. Then its chest opened, revealing a glowing cannon of blue light. Aaron shouted, "Now!" A beam of pure energy burst upward, slamming into the lead hunter ship. The explosion painted the sky in fire and fragments. The shockwave pushed sand and wind in all directions. Cale shielded its eyes. "You destroyed it." Aaron smiled, breathless. "Guess my tiny tools aren't so tiny anymore." But the last hunter wasn't running. It dove straight toward them, faster than sound, its weapons glowing blood red. Cale screamed, "It's going to ram us!" Aaron clenched his fists. "Not today." He jumped from the Guardian's hand, grabbing Cale mid-air. The Guardian crossed its massive arms over them, forming a shield. The red ship hit the barrier with a blinding flash, and for a second, everything went silent. When the light cleared, the hunter ship was gone. Only burning pieces rained down over the desert. Aaron landed hard on the sand, coughing. The Guardian slowly lowered beside him, its energy fading. Cale floated down too, trembling. You destroyed all of them. Alone." Aaron laughed weakly. "Not alone. I had some ancient friends." The Guardians turned their heads toward him one last time. Their eyes glowed softly, almost like a bow, before dimming. Then one by one they sank back into the sand, disappearing into the earth. Cale watched in silence, tears glowing faintly. They rest again. Aaron placed a hand on Cale's tiny shoulder. "They saved us." "They saved you?" Kyle looked up at him, voice trembling. "No, Aaron, you saved us. You woke the Guardians. They listened to you." "Even my people couldn't do that," Aaron frowned. "But why me?" Cale hesitated, eyes reflecting the stars. "Because the core chose you. Humans have something we lost long ago. The power to act from heart, not logic." Aaron stared at his glowing hand, then at the sky. The red lights were gone, but dark clouds were forming. Not natural ones. Cale whispered, "More will come." "The Vraxis will not stop." Aaron took a deep breath. "Then we don't stop either." He looked at the broken pod. "We'll fix your ship. We'll get you home. And if your enemies come again," he smiled, fire in his eyes, "they'll learn how big a human heart really is." Above them, thunder rolled, but it wasn't from the sky. It was from something vast moving beyond the clouds. Cale shivered. "They sent the mothership," Aaron clenched his fists. "Then let's get ready." The desert wind howled, carrying the scent of war. The sky over the desert had turned red, not from sunset, but from fire. A vast shadow moved through the clouds, swallowing the stars. The air trembled as the Vraxis mothership descended slowly, its black hull stretching for miles. Lightning crackled across its surface like veins of molten metal. Aaron and Kale stood beside the wrecked pod, the ground rumbling under their feet. Kale's voice was trembling. "That's no hunter. That's the Queen vessel. It controls every ship in the Vraxis fleet." Aaron stared upward, jaw tight. "Then they've sent their biggest bully." Kale looked at him with glowing eyes full of worry. "You don't understand, Aaron. That ship doesn't come to hunt and it comes to erase. They'll burn this world to ash if they find me." Aaron clenched his fists. "Then they'll have to go through me first." Kale floated closer, shaking its small head. "You can't fight them. Even the Guardians couldn't." Aaron looked at the faintly glowing sand where the Guardians had vanished. "Maybe not. But I still have their mark." He raised his arm. Faint blue veins of light still pulsed beneath his skin, glowing brighter now in the red sky. The mark from the core seed was alive. Kale gasped softly. "It's reacting. The core still speaks through you." Aaron turned toward the alien. "Then maybe it can help us again." Before Kale could respond, a deep mechanical voice echoed through the desert. "Human identified. Unauthorized wielder of Lyrian signature." Aaron froze. The voice was coming from the sky, from the mothership itself. Kyle whispered in shock, "It's talking to you." The ground shook as a beam of red light shot down, striking the sand a few meters away. When the light faded, a figure stood there, tall, armored, and terrifying. Its body was dark steel, its head crowned with crimson lights. It was a Vraxis commander, part machine, part living creature. "Human," it said, its voice deep and echoing. "You touched what is forbidden. Return the core energy, and your death will be painless." Aaron glared up. "Sorry, but I kind of like being alive." The commander tilted its head. "Your kind is weak. You build with hands, not thought. Why do you resist?" Aaron smirked. "Because that's what humans do best, resist." The commander's red eyes flickered. "Then you will burn with the rest of your world." It raised its weapon, a long, curved staff glowing with plasma energy. Kale screamed, "Aaron, run!" But Aaron didn't move. The blue mark on his arm flared suddenly, brighter than ever. Energy rippled through the air, bending the sand and wind. The commander hesitated. "Impossible. The core responds to him?" Kale gasped. "Aaron! It's choosing you again." Aaron's mind filled with a voice, not his own, but soft and deep. "Child of Earth, you carry the seed of will. Use it." He didn't know what it meant, but instinct guided him. He lifted his hand toward the sand when the ground began to move. Blue lines spread from his feet like lightning, shaping into ancient runes. From the desert floor, pieces of metal began to rise, fragments of the fallen Guardians. They floated, spinning, reforming around him. Kale's eyes widened. "You're rebuilding them." The air crackled with power. The broken arms, gears, and cores of the Guardians joined together, forming a smaller, faster figure around Aaron like armor. The desert exploded with light. When the glow faded, Aaron stood inside a glowing exosuit made of Lyrian metal, alive and breathing, powered by his will. The core seed mark pulsed at its center like a heart. The Vraxis commander took a step back. "You merged with their relic. That is forbidden." Aaron's voice echoed through the suit, calm but fierce. "Guess I didn't read the rules." He moved his hand and the air shimmered. Blue energy formed into a blade. Kale hovered nearby, trembling but amazed. "Aaron, you look like a Guardian," Aaron smirked. "More like a smaller, angrier one." The commander roared and charged. Their blades clashed, sending sparks across the sand. Each strike was like thunder. The commander swung hard, but Aaron dodged, moving faster than human reflex should allow. The Lyrian suit reacted with him, reading his thoughts. Kyle watched from behind the wreck, heart pounding. "He's matching a Vraxis general." No human could. Aaron's blade slashed through the air, cutting the commander's weapon in half. Blue and red sparks flew. He shouted, "You picked the wrong planet." The commander stumbled, but before Aaron could strike again, it slammed a fist into the ground. A pulse of red energy erupted outward, knocking Aaron back into the rocks. Kyle screamed, "Aaron!" Aaron groaned inside the suit. The armor flickered, struggling to stabilize. The commander staggered forward, half-destroyed, glowing with fury. "You are not chosen," it hissed. "You are infection." Aaron spat blood and stood tall again. "Then this infection fights back." He reached deep, feeling the pulse of the core, the same energy that once healed Kale's ship. It pulsed faster, hotter. He shouted, "Kale!" The ship's core, link it. Kale understood instantly. It flew to the pod and placed its tiny hand on the core chamber. The blue glow spread through the sand, reaching Aaron's armor. The core seed and the Lyrian metal synchronized again. The armor burned with brilliant light, brighter than the desert sun. Aaron raised his hand one last time, yelling from his soul, "This is for Earth, and for Lyrian!" A blinding wave of energy exploded outward, pure and white. When the light faded, the commander was gone. Nothing but ash drifting in the wind. Kyle floated weakly toward Aaron, voice trembling. You destroyed a Vraxis, Commander." Aaron dropped to one knee, breathing hard. "Guess that's one for humanity." Kale smiled faintly. "The mothership will know now. They will come for both of us." Aaron looked at the sky, the giant shadow of the mothership still hovering, silent and watching. He said quietly, "Then let them come." Kyle stared at him. "Aaron, why do you fight like this? Even when you know you'll lose?" Aaron looked down at his glowing hand and smiled softly. "Because sometimes, winning isn't about surviving. It's about standing up when no one else will." Kyle's eyes shimmered with emotion. "You humans, your hearts are louder than your weapons, or above them." The mothership's massive eye opened, a red circle that burned like a sun, and from the depths of that light, a new voice spoke, calm, ancient, and terrifying. "Aaron Blake, the core remembers you. You were chosen long before you were born." Aaron froze. "What?" The voice echoed again, deep as the stars. "You are not just human. You are the bridge," Kale gasped in fear and wonder. "Bridge? Between worlds?" Aaron looked up, the light reflecting in his eyes. "Then I guess it's time to find out what that really means." The mothership began to open, and the desert wind screamed as something far greater than either of them awoke in the sky. The air trembled like it was alive. High above the desert, the Vraxis mothership opened its massive core, a burning red circle that pulsed like an eye made of fire. The light was so bright that it turned the night into day. Aaron and Kale stood in the middle of the sandstorm it created, the ground rumbling beneath them. The voice from the sky still echoed in Aaron's mind. "You are the bridge." Aaron clenched his fists. "Bridge between what?" he shouted. Kyle hovered beside him, glowing faintly. "It spoke your name, Aaron. It knows you." "But how?" Aaron shook his head. "I don't know. I've never seen anything like this." He looked up at the burning light. "But whatever it wants, I'm not giving up." Kale floated closer, its small eyes filled with worry. "You don't understand. The mothership doesn't speak to others. It consumes. It must see something inside you." Before Aaron could respond, the ground split open with a deep crack. A red beam of light shot down, surrounding both of them. Kyle screamed, "Aaron!" "It's pulling us in." Aaron grabbed Kale tightly. "Hold on." The beam lifted them off the ground. Sand and wind swirled around them as their bodies were dragged upward into the storm of light. The desert vanished below. When the brightness faded, Aaron and Kale were no longer in the desert. They stood inside a massive glowing chamber, the heart of the mothership. The walls pulsed like veins. The air was thick and alive, humming with strange energy. Giant cables twisted like snakes, carrying streams of red light. Kale whispered, This is the living core of the Vraxis. We shouldn't be here." Aaron looked around, his voice calm but firm. "Then let's find out why we are." Suddenly, the floor beneath them shifted. A tall figure appeared from the shadows. Its body half machine, half flesh, its eyes burning with light. Kale gasped. "That's the Overmind." Aaron frowned. "The what now?" "The ruler of the Vraxis," Kale said in fear. "It controls all their ships. It is the mothership." The Overmind's voice filled the chamber. "Human, you carry what was never meant for your kind." Aaron stepped forward, unafraid. "Then maybe your rules are broken." The Overmind tilted its head. "You do not understand what you carry. The core seed inside you is not just power. It is memory. The memory of Lyrian's first child." Kale floated back, shocked. "The first child? But that was before my world was even born." The Overmind's gaze turned toward Kale. "Your ancestors failed to protect the seed. It wandered for centuries until it found him." Aaron's heart pounded. "You mean this mark, this power? It's been waiting for me?" The Overmind nodded slowly. "You are the bridge between creation and destruction. Between Lyrian and Earth," Kale whispered, trembling. "Aaron, the seed chose you because you feel Because you act without logic, just heart, Aaron frowned. Then why are you trying to destroy that? The Overmind's voice darkened. Because heart leads to chaos. Emotion creates rebellion. We the Vraxis evolved beyond it. We became pure purpose, Aaron smirked. Yeah? Sounds like you became pure nothing. A wave of energy burst from the Overmind, slamming Aaron backward. Sparks flew from his armor as he hit the wall. Kale cried out, Aaron! Aaron groaned, his vision blurring. I've heard worse lectures. The Overmind extended its hand and a glowing red spear formed. You are no god, human. You are a mistake of the stars. Kale floated between them. Stop. If you kill him, the seed dies too. The Overmind hesitated. Then it will be remade. Without weakness. Aaron pushed himself up, his arm glowing blue again. Weakness? He said, panting. You think heart is weakness? That's your problem. You forgot what it means to fight for something and/or someone. Kale's eyes widened. The air around Aaron began to shift, blue light swirling from his armor, brighter than before. The Overmind stepped back. What are you doing? Aaron raised his hand. Taking back what belongs to life. The core seed inside his chest pulsed faster, syncing with his heartbeat. He felt Kyle's fear, the pain of Lyrian, the cries of destroyed worlds, all rushing into him like waves. For a moment, it hurt more than anything he'd ever felt. Then suddenly it stopped hurting. The blue light exploded outward. The walls of the chamber flickered. The red veins of the mothership turned white. Kale shielded its eyes. Aaron, the ship, it's reacting to you. The Overmind roared. You cannot control it. You are flesh. You will burn. Aaron's voice was calm now, steady as a storm. Then I'll burn brighter than you ever did. The floor cracked. Light burst from every corner of the chamber. Streams of blue energy shot up the walls, ripping through the ship's systems. Kale shouted, You're changing it! The ship's code, turning blue. The Overmind staggered back, screaming as parts of its body began to dissolve into light. Impossible. No human can... Aaron stepped forward, his eyes glowing faintly. I'm not just human anymore. He placed his hand on the mothership's core. The entire structure pulsed once, then fell silent. Kale floated close, whispering in awe. What did you do? Aaron looked around. The red lights were gone. The walls were calm, glowing faint blue. I told it to remember what it was before it forgot, before it became a weapon. Kale's voice trembled. You awakened the true core of the ship. The part that still feels, Aaron nodded slowly. It was buried under all that hate, like it was waiting for someone to remind it what life meant. The Overmind's voice returned, but softer now. Human, what are you? Aaron looked up. A reminder. Silence filled the chamber. Then the massive ship shifted again, but this time gently. The red storm outside faded, replaced by a calm blue glow spreading across the clouds. Kale looked at him, tears glowing in its eyes. You saved them, Aaron. You saved everything. Aaron smiled faintly. Not yet. But maybe now, we've got a chance. The mothership's voice whispered once more, this time not as an enemy body, but as something reborn. Bridge. Complete. Aaron took a deep breath, looking down at Kale. Let's go home. But before they could move, a deep rumble echoed through the chamber. From below, the light dimmed again. Kale's smile faded. Something else is waking. Deeper inside. Aaron's eyes narrowed. Then we're not done yet. The floor began to crack open, and from the darkness beneath a new sound rose. Not mechanical, not alien. It was a heartbeat, a second core, black and alive, what was awakening. The floor beneath Aaron and Kale cracked open like a wound in the world. Blue light from the awakened mothership faded into shadows as black energy began to rise. Heavy, pulsing, alive. Aaron stepped back, shielding Kale. What is that? Kale's small body trembled. That's the dark core and the second heart of the mothership, the one that feeds on fear. Aaron stared at the shifting shadows. You mean, the Overmind wasn't the real enemy? Kale shook its tiny head. No, that was just a voice. This is its soul. The darkness grew thicker, forming a shape, a massive living sphere covered in moving tendrils of lightless matter. It pulsed like a beating heart, every thump echoing through the ship. The air itself felt colder. Then a voice filled the chamber. One life always resists. One spark always defies. That is why flesh must end. Aaron's hands glowed faint blue. He shouted. "You've been killing life for eons!" "For what, to stop feeling?" The voice rumbled like thunder. "Feeling is weakness. You prove it every time you bleed." Kale hovered near him, whispering, "Aaron, it wants to consume the core seed inside you, to erase its link to emotion." Aaron took a deep breath, his eyes narrowing. "Then it'll have to kill me first." The floor rippled as tendrils shot out from the dark core, slamming into the ground where Aaron stood. He jumped aside, rolling, the impact shaking the chamber. The Lyrian armor flared back to life, wrapping him in light. Kale shouted, "Aaron, the dark core draws power from fear. If you're afraid, it grows stronger." Aaron clenched his jaw. "Then I guess it's time to stop being afraid." He charged forward, blue energy flaring from his hands. The core responded, the floor lighting up beneath him with glowing symbols, ancient and powerful. The dark core roared. "You are a spark of dying dust. You cannot fight creation itself." Aaron swung his arm, sending a beam of energy that sliced through the darkness, but it reformed instantly. He stumbled back, breathing hard. "It's healing." Kale closed its eyes. "Because it's not just power. It's alive, like the Lyrian cores, but twisted." Aaron looked around. There must be a way to stop it. Kale opened its eyes, glowing faintly. "There is, but it will cost you." Aaron froze. "What do you mean?" Kyle's voice broke. "If the core seed inside you merges with the dark core, it can purify it. But that means your energy, your heart, they'll become one with it." Aaron understood immediately. "You're saying I'll die?" Kale's eyes shimmered. "Not die, change, become part of the light that guides the ship forever." For a long moment, Aaron said nothing. Then he looked down at the small alien, the one who had crash-landed in his world, weak and afraid, yet full of hope. He smiled softly. "You know, Kale, I spent my whole life fixing machines, but maybe this time I was meant to fix something bigger." Kale shook its tiny head, tears of light forming. "No, humans aren't supposed to sacrifice everything. You have a home, a world." Aaron interrupted gently. "My world is worth saving. Yours too. If I can bridge them even once, then it's worth it." He stepped toward the dark core. Kale screamed, "Aaron, wait!" The core sensed him coming and sent tendrils forward like whips. They hit his armor, but instead of breaking him, the energy turned blue, dissolving the darkness wherever it touched. The dark core howled. "You cannot cleanse what was born of void." Aaron shouted back, "Maybe not alone, but I'm not alone." Kyle's small glow flared brightly. "Aaron, I'll help." It flew beside him, placing its tiny hand over his heart. Their lights, to blue and green, merged into one. A wave of warmth spread through the chamber. Aaron's body began to glow brighter, the Lyrian symbols across his armor burning like stars. The dark core recoiled, screaming. Aaron whispered, "Let's finish this." He reached out both hands and plunged them into the heart of the darkness. The core shrieked, thrashing violently, but Aaron didn't let go. He felt everything. Every world the Vraxis had destroyed, every life erased by their cold perfection, and beneath it all, he felt one thing stronger than pain: Kale's faith in him. Kale's small voice echoed in his mind, trembling but sure. "You're bigger than my home, because your heart never ends." Aaron smiled through tears, then let it burn forever. He closed his eyes. The light exploded. For a moment, the universe seemed to stop. The mothership shook as darkness turned to white, then to silence. When Kale opened its eyes again, the dark core was gone. The chamber was filled with soft blue light, calm, warm, alive. In the center stood Aaron's armor, empty, glowing faintly like a fading star. Kale floated close, touching the chest plate gently. "Aaron?" A whisper echoed through the air. "I'm here," Kale gasped. "Where?" The voice was everywhere, gentle, familiar. "Inside the core. Don't cry, Kale, I'm not gone. I'm connected." Kyle's tears glowed brighter. "You became the bridge." Aaron's voice smiled through the light. "You're not alone anymore. The ship's free. Take it home." Kale sobbed softly, whispering, "I'll tell them about you, Aaron, about humans, about hearts that fight even when they break." The mothership began to rise again, glowing blue instead of red, and no longer a weapon, but a light in the dark. From the sky, the desert below shimmered under its glow. The clouds parted, revealing the stars, brighter than ever. Kale looked down at Earth. "He saved your world," it whispered. but he saved mine too. And deep within the ship, where blue light hummed gently, a heartbeat continued. Steady, strong, human.